Hey guys, what's up? D-Rad here. Starting a new adventure, Protect Your Peace podcast. As you guys know, I do the 137, 1 day off a week, a 3-day weekend once a month, and then 7 days off a quarter. And I talk about that all the time. And there are some people who pick up on that and actually run with it, like Ivannia did. So we're going to have a conversation today about why she decided to do the 137, what she's getting from it, how it's impacted her life. And I'm hoping that from you guys hearing that, you might be inspired to do the 137 as well. So join the conversation, all right? Listen, so what's so crazy, I've been going on hikes every Monday for like the past 3 years, and people are always asking to go. I've never taken anybody. And so I'm happy that I'm here with you. We got a chance to look at Waterloo Village, and I'll show some pictures of that in the podcast. I think it's a fantastic place, and it's super peaceful here, so I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you for letting me pop your cherry.
I love it. I love it.
I like saying that people laugh.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you've heard me talking about the 137. I believe in it, and I take it really serious because I feel like I'm not any good to anyone in my life if I'm not taking care of me. What made you say, that sounds interesting, I need to do that for myself?
Well, I was in your coaching class and you mentioned it. And
Right.
I think I even asked you, what is this? You explained a little bit more. And you did say, if you cannot take a day, take an hour. I said, because of what I do, I'm blessed enough to be able to take a day.
Yes.
So I actually heard that one of your classes, I think in the fall, and it wasn't until the spring that I implemented it. And we're having a conversation before about just taking the time. And even I have always been a go, 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 go. I'm a single mom, so I always have to be working and hustling. And real estate, sometimes you can get so caught up, you work 24/7.
Yes.
I was burning out. I was totally burnt out.
Okay.
I had just started my divorce as well, too. So I was not mentally okay. And one day there was an event at the Holland Ridge Farm, come
Okay.
pick tulips. I even made it an event for me to take time off myself, of course.
All good.
Got to make it work.
That's right.
So I made it an event to invite other women so that we can go and take time out of work to connect with each other.
Love it.
Little did I know that it did not feel like work at all. And when I finished the day, I went back into my car and I cried. And not pretty cried. I was boogers, sobbing,
Oh boy.
just crying,
The ugly cry.
crying. I cried all the way home, and that's an hour ride.
Wow.
Um,
What made you cry?
I didn't know what I was feeling. I never took time for me, never took time for myself to do something that wasn't doing something with like an appointment or having to do something for my kids or having to go to the doctor. Even when I went on vacation, we were talking earlier, I made it a point to visit every single place, like always an agenda. I never
Yes.
did anything without an agenda. So
Got
that
it.
day I did that, and I don't know what happened. Something inside of me just broke.
Your body was saying thank you. You needed that for yourself, right?
Yeah, I just cried and cried and cried and cried.
Wow. And so after that, like how soon after that crying did you go and do your next outing by yourself?
I kept doing it as events.
Okay.
Because, I still wasn't, I guess, understanding or embracing.
Right.
I felt guilty doing something that wasn't productive, even though this made me more productive.
I was going to say it is productive.
Yes.
Because you're focusing on you. However, you felt like it had to be an event so you could still say I'm working in some sort of way.
Yes. So I created
get
this like
that.
women group and
Yeah.
like, let's go here, let's go there. And it wasn't, I would say, until this year that I started just doing me solo. And I was forced into a situation where I never thought I would go on a hike by myself. I always, followed you and see all this place. And I was like, that must be nice. But every time I went on a hike, I needed to be with somebody. I have horrible sense of direction.
Got it.
Or
Got
I
it.
like to tell myself that maybe.
Okay.
So I was forced into this. I said, all right, so I guess 2 days that they were going hiking. I didn't know what those little squares mean.
Right.
So I Googled my phone. I took a picture. I Googled it and I'm like, okay. I sent my location to my kids and I told them, listen, this is happening. If you don't hear from me in like an hour, a bear ate me, call the cops.
Call the cops. This is where I am. Right. Send your location.
And I went there. I went to the the Eagle Rock Reservation.
Eagle Rock, yeah.
And I did
Okay.
the Yellow Trail.
That's
But
in
then it
Patterson,
was,
right? Eagle Rock?
no, West Orange.
West Orange, that's right. Okay.
But
Yeah.
it ended up being too short, so I said, okay, let me keep going, jump into the red trail, and then that one ended up being too long. Maybe I was tired. But halfway through it, I started freaking out because my phone lost signal, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm lost. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
And I kept walking and walking. I'm like, when am I gonna get to my car? When am I gonna get to my
Oh,
car? But then I finally made it, and I went back to my car, and then I was so happy. Like, I
Yeah.
touched my face. I'm like, oh, I'm smiling. Like, I
Right.
felt like a big girl. I was like,
Yeah,
you
like
did
I did
this.
this.
You
I
did
did
this.
it. Yeah, for sure.
And then now, after that, I just started going on hikes by myself.
Okay.
And I love it. I love it. It taught me to also not wait. I don't need to wait on anybody else.
That's
Now I
very
just
true.
get ready and I go by myself.
just go solo.
Just go.
I hear
And
you.
it was really, really powerful too. In that little hike, I danced. I cried. There was nobody, so I was like. So I started dancing and jumping and singing, sat on a bench and I cried.
Oh,
A lot of
wow.
crying on these trips.
Whatever it takes. However, you were comfortable in your own skin. You're having a great time. You're experiencing the world. You're just having a good time experiencing nature.
Yes.
And you feel refreshed when you're done with it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot. Refresh. And that led me to now I met with friends at different states, but
Yeah.
this year I actually traveled by myself on a plane
Okay.
to get to those locations. And I was like, wow, I have come a long way.
You have
From
come a long way.
going to a drive to pick up tulips, to going into the mountain by myself, to now going. I was petrified. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get lost at the airport. They're going to like send me back or something's going to happen. But
Right.
it was so freeing.
I love that.
It
I
was
love
so
that.
freeing.
So do you like journal? I journal when I go on my hikes. What do you do? Like, what's your ritual on your day off when you do your hiking?
I journal usually the next day. I used to do it at night,
Okay.
but now I have changed that as well too.
Okay.
I feel like I was doing it. I go to counseling, so they told me, just start journaling, and it did help.
Okay.
Emptying it all out at night. But then I started doing it in the morning, and just reflecting back on it, it kind of set the pace for the day. I don't know
get
if I'm
that.
explaining
No, I
myself.
hear you. I hear
It
you.
helped me look at the day with a different perspective and with gratitude, because doing even the hard things, when you look at it not in the moment but after,
Right.
there's a lesson in everything.
Of course.
So just doing it in the morning. The one day that I traveled on the plane, though, coming back, I went to Arizona, and then coming back, I had to sit down and journal while I was waiting for my next plane. I just
Okay.
couldn't take it. I was
Right.
like, this is what I'm feeling
Right. You
now.
had to put it
I had
down.
to put it down.
I completely understand that. Have you done what they call a brain dump? Do you know what that is?
No.
So essentially on my hike, like when I find a place to post up, I'll grab my phone is my journal. I don't write in the actual journal. I write in my memos. And I just take everything that's in my head and put it down on paper, right? All the things I want to do, things I said I want to read, videos I thought about making, like whatever it is swimming up in here gets put down in my memos. Because when it lives up here, it doesn't get done.
Mm-hmm.
I can have the best intentions. When it's time for me to do it, I forget about it. So I just like put it down on paper, and that allows me to kind of create this to-do list for the week. Like, Dave, you want to call this person, you want to go check out this restaurant, you want to go hiking here. All the stuff that I want to do, I get it out of my head. It's a brain dump. I get it on paper, and then I work on putting a plan together to make it happen. That has helped me out tremendously.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I do have a lot of things in my hand and I forget. And I'm like, I was supposed to check this out or something.
Wait till you get my age, then you really start forgetting. I'm like, I walked in the garage the other day and I was like, what am I in here for? And I had to walk way back in the living room to like think about what I went in the garage for. It just getting older can suck.
That happens to me sometimes.
Listen, we all have the brain farts, but I think it's really cool, and I think it's great that you have found that the 137 really helped you and it impacts your life. Yes. And the one thing that I'll say about it, I'm an introvert. Are you an introvert?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I mean by being an introvert is like I need to replenish myself, and I replenish by being alone. Some people replenish by being with a group of people. I just need peace and quiet, which is why I go camping all the time by myself, because I'm just with me and with my thoughts. And so for me, it replenishes me every Monday. Then I'm ready to go teach morning mindset or do real talk or go teach a class.
Hmm.
If I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't want to be bothered with people. So it's a great outlet.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I actually took it a step further too, because you explained how the 1 day and then the 3 days and the 7 days.
Yes.
So I kind of tried to start doing the 3 days, and that was going well. But the 7 days, it changes your life.
Yeah, it
And
does.
back in April, I went to the beach in Florida 7 days. I didn't work. I mean, I took a couple calls the first 2 days, and then
Yeah.
after that, I was like, this is not worth it. I'm not even over there, and I'm here for a purpose. I came here. Um, and then I stretched it out more too. I went the next month, and then the next month. I just came back from California like 2 weeks ago.
Look at you.
But I really enjoyed it. I feel it has even, at the beginning I was feeling a little bit guilty because the
Right.
last 3 trips I went without my kids.
Yeah.
So I actually feel that I came back and I have been able to even be a better mom,
Ah,
more peaceful, more calm. I
More
discovered
patient,
things
yeah.
about myself, more patient. I think it taught me how to be patient with myself, going through
yeah.
security by myself or the
Yes.
hiking by myself and all that, to give me grace. Like, you're learning too.
Of course. And you're also building your confidence. Like, I got this. I can do this. Right?
Yeah.
I love that. What do your kids think? So you have 3 kids.
Yes.
What do they think about you? Do you tell them, like, I'm purposeful, I'm taking this time off for me? How do they receive that? What's their message to you around that?
Yes. So my daughter, my oldest one, she actually pulled me out one night, and she said, sit down, mom. Like, I want to tell you something. And she said, thank you. I said, what do you mean? And she said, by you taking time for you, we see the change in you by
Right.
you taking time to work on yourself.
I love that. Now, are they doing that for themselves? I mean, at that age, are they unplugging and doing things for them?
I try to force it on them. Pick up a hobby, put your phone down. They get mad at me, but then they feel the difference. Pick up a paper. My one daughter loves drawing. The other one, she takes naps. I have been learning the importance of sleep with her.
Right. I hear you. It's a journey.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So they get frustrated, but I feel like at that age it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
But if it's implemented into us, one day they're gonna look back and they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds, that did help me.
And they watch us. They may not say anything, but they watch us and they pay attention. My oldest daughter, Taylor, is kind of like me. We go on vacation. She's up in the morning at the beach. And that was always me, like at the beach, watching the sunrise, having that quiet time when people aren't around. And she's just like that. And I can so appreciate that she's not waiting on anybody else. She will get up, grab her towel, go right down to the beach and hang out
Nice.
for hours, get some coffee or whatever she drinks, and just kind of hangs out. And
Nice.
at 18, I think it's great that she
Yes.
has that type of freedom and feels comfortable doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what hobbies? What do you do outside of hiking? What are some other things you do to unplug?
Well, I never really had any hobbies
Okay.
before my kids started growing.
Right.
I would say 2 years ago, they started telling me, like, now we're all teenagers and, we like doing stuff with you, but we want to do stuff with our friends. So they said,
Yeah.
you need to go get some friends. I was
Yeah.
a little hurt,
Yeah.
but it was a hard summer.
Yeah, of course.
But I started now picking up on little things. I would say the past, now that my divorce is over, the past few months have been more like trial. Like,
Okay.
I went and got some paints. I took my guitar out of retirement.
Nice.
I've been doing yoga for 11 years, but I did it more as an escape.
Oh, okay.
And then it became a business. So I teach yoga on the side, but now I'm looking at it as a hobby. I never did it
Okay.
as a hobby. So it's not much like, oh, just do it to, get this pose, or like so forced on it. It's just like, all right, today I feel like doing it, tomorrow I don't. Like, let's just do it and
Gotcha.
see where it goes. So
I hear that.
I found a new love for it. I fell in love again with it.
Nice.
With the practice. And I don't know, I want to try tennis. There's so many things on my list like that. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta write it down and sit down and like, okay, what's next? What's next?
So
I'm
I'll-
excited.
I'll say this, and I don't mean this to be a real estate podcast. Really want to talk about life, but I have to say this one thing. Hold on a second. There we go. Somebody's trying to call me. Finding things that you have a passion for that you're interested in, like hiking, like doing tennis. As you meet people there, that's kind of how you can do business there. You can talk to people about real estate when you're hiking, when you're doing tennis, when you're playing your guitar. It's all about like joining groups and just putting yourself out there. So I think it's a great way to, show people who you are, because people like to work with people they know. And if you show them your interests and your hobbies, I think that's really good. I think people will gravitate towards that.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I think about the hobbies and all that, I think it's fantastic. I love that you're doing the 137. All the things that I talk about, I think it's really important. And I didn't make up the 137. I learned about this on a call that I was on with James Shaw. It has greatly impacted my life. I feel like I'm in a better place. I used to be on blood pressure medication because my mom was stressing me out. And now I don't have to take it. And I really believe it's because of the hiking, the unplugging, the yoga even. I got into yoga about 2 years ago because I was having, like, my legs were stiff and I was having some issues with my back bothering me. So I needed to be more flexible. And I used to take my yoga mat with me when I went hiking. And if I found a place that was nice and smooth or by a lake, I would get out there and do a couple yoga moves and just kind of relax and be one with nature. And it made you feel even more connected. So you might want to think about doing some yoga at some of these great places that you find.
Yeah, I sometimes take my shoes off and, like, feel the ground, but I need to get a bag where I could put my yoga mat.
Absolutely. Seriously, because I would just like keep it in my car, and I was like, okay, here's a lake and this is a flat area. I would just get out there and practice some poses and just breathe. Like, it's something about just sitting there and just that exhale.
Yeah.
I feel like all the weight just gets lifted off of my shoulders. And I'll sit there, and I know smoking cigars is probably not the healthiest thing in the world to do, but it's something about it. I feel super relaxed when I do that. And I'm in nature and I'm hearing the waterfalls, or I'm hearing the stream, or I'm hearing the birds like we can hear right now. Something about that. Life is too short. We work so hard. We got to take some time to unplug and get out here.
Yeah, now that I started hiking, I see all these trails. I didn't know New Jersey has so many trails. And I'm like,
my God,
there's more trails than days in my life.
Listen, I've been hiking for years, and I haven't even hit a tenth of what we have out here.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. And you'll I find certain places where I'm like, well, that was nice. I'll never come back. And then I find places like here at Waterloo Village where I'm like, I'll come back every spring, summer, winter, fall, because it looks different when you have the leaves changing colors. It's just very welcoming. So I encourage you to go back and try some of your favorite places, like when the leaves are changing colors. I think you'll enjoy it even more.
I can't wait for the fall hikes.
Listen, I love the fall hikes. We'll do a fall hike. If somebody was listening to this conversation, on Protect Your Peace, and they are like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting, maybe I should try this 137. What's the one reason you would tell them they absolutely should try to work on unplugging and doing 137 or some version of the 137?
I was against taking time for myself because I thought it would make me miss out or less productive, or instead of doing this, I should be doing that.
Right.
But what I have realized is that the more time that I take for me, the better I perform.
Good.
Every time I take time off, I come back refreshed.
Yes.
With a new perspective, with more patience.
Yes.
I'm able, because I'm empty now, I'm able to listen to people and to actually process instead of being like, next appointment, next, and I'm not even there.
Okay.
It taught me how to be present. And it shows on my paycheck too. So
you're taking time off and making more money.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I'm like, should we do the 2-6-14? Like, just be gone all the time.
5-1.
It works though.
It works.
And think about every time you do have a vacation too, right? That's when you business starts coming. Every time you plan the trip, things get.
Yep.
I don't know how that works, but it works.
It does.
Okay. All right. So I want to keep this short. It's my first one. I appreciate you allowing me to ask you questions. Any questions for me before we wrap up on anything? I'm an open book.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be your first. I know how precious your time is. I've been following you and your hikes. So no questions. I just want to thank you because by you sharing your story and the things that you do, this is one of the things that I have learned from you. Other things we have discussed in the past, it changed my life.
Wow.
So thank you so much for being you and for existing.
I
and
appreciate you.
for sharing with us so that we can follow through. And guys, I encourage you to do it. Just do it. Do it for you.
Do it for
We're
you.
always doing everything for everybody else.
I know that's right.
Just
I
do
know
it for
that's
you.
right. Yeah. And life is short.
Yes. Too short.
It's too short. And I don't know if I'm promised another 5 days or another 50 years. I don't want to have any regrets. I want to be able to live a life that I can be proud of now and later.
Yes.
I don't want to keep putting it off. So I turned 50 in August. Time to start living life.
Big party.
Yes, that's my plan. And you will get an invite. That is my plan.
You do not look 50. It's
Well,
all the
I
hype.
appreciate that. It's all the hiking, right?
All the
and the
time
scotch.
off.
I say it's a scotch. But thank you guys
Thank you.
for tuning in. I appreciate you.